Welcome to OOTO TV, the out-of-the-office investigation from the past into the future of health. This time we're discussing targeting parasites and bacteria using electromagnetic fields and sound waves. I'm Bob, and I'm genuinely excited to be here with my insightful colleague, Sue.
Thanks, Bob. It's great to be here, too. And yeah, this topic is, well, it's really brimming with potential, isn't it?
It really is. We're about to explore insights that could, fundamentally shift how we think about tackling health challenges.
Exactly. Our journey today, it focuses on how these, let's say, non-traditional uses of energy, specifically electromagnetic fields, EMFs, and also sound waves, how they're being looked at to fight off microscopic invaders.
Right, the parasites and bacteria. And the idea is this could potentially enhance our overall well-being. It's really an investigation into these unseen forces that might have a profound influence on our health.
Precisely. And to guide you through this compelling exploration, we'll kick things off by looking at some solid scientific studies, the ones investigating the direct measurable impact of EMFs on specific parasites and bacteria.
Okay, starting with the science?
Then from there, we'll kind of broaden our view. We'll explore some comprehensive theories and applications. That includes the whole concept of zapping pathogens with electrical devices.
Yes, the zapper.
And that really ties into the profound idea that maybe, just maybe, many illnesses stem from just two core issues: parasites and pollutants.
Wow, simplifying it down like that.
And then finally, we'll dive into the really intriguing world of sound frequencies, looking at their reported effects on the human brain and, our overall state of being.
Okay, fantastic. And look, right from the very start, we want to emphasize this to you, our listener. This isn't just some abstract scientific curiosity. The exploration of targeting parasites and bacteria using electromagnetic fields and sound waves holds profound implications for your personal health journey.
That's absolutely right, Bob. The information we're about to share, it really has the power to redefine your understanding. It might open up totally new ways to think about approaching health.
All right, let's begin then. Let's dive into our investigation by looking at some of that compelling scientific research. How electromagnetic fields, EMFs, directly interact with parasites and bacteria. This is where we anchor it all in data, right?
Exactly. And what's particularly compelling here, I think, is moving beyond just the general idea of energy fields to looking at specific measurable outcomes on these tiny organisms. We're talking about direct impacts, right down at the microbial level.
Okay, so give us an example. I know one study that caught my eye focused on Toxoplasma gondii. That's a pretty well-known protozoan, right?
It is. And in that study, researchers used specialized Helmholtz coils. These things generate extremely low-frequency electromagnetic fields, ELF EMFs.
Right. And they wanted to see what effect these fields had on the parasites.
Exactly. And the study was quite precise. They actually differentiated between two types of EMFs. There was pulsed EMF, PEMF, that delivers energy in bursts,
Like the pulses.
Right. And then continuous EMF, or CEMF, which is just a steady, uninterrupted field.
Okay, pulsed versus continuous. And what did they find?
Well, this is interesting. They found that a very specific pulsed field, PEMF, at 75 hertz significantly reduced the number of T. gondii parasites in the mice they studied.
Significantly reduced. Wow.
Yeah. Now, the continuous field, the CEMF, at 50 hertz and 2 millit, it also led to a decrease in parasite numbers compared to the control group.
Wow.
But that decrease wasn't statistically significant. So it really highlights that the specific frequency, 75 hertz in this case, and the pulsed nature of the field seem crucial for getting a potent biological effect.
That's a key distinction, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just any field.
Absolutely not. And actually, Bob, we've seen similar findings elsewhere, like studies showing EMF decreased oocyst numbers of Eimeria maxima, that's a protozoan causing infections in birds. It suggests maybe there's a broader pattern here.
So the parameters really, really matter. It's not just blasting energy. It's specific frequencies, specific delivery methods like pulsing. Okay, so shifting from parasites now to bacteria.
Let's talk microwaves.
Microwaves. Yeah, most people think reheating leftovers, right? Totally.
Yeah. But there's research looking at them against bacteria.
There is, and it's fascinating. What's really exciting is their potential not just for treatment, but for rapid detection, too. Microwave-based biosensors, believe it or not, can sensitively monitor bacterial proliferation.
How does that work?
Well, for instance, one study used a label-free, non-contact sensor operating at 1.76 gigahertz, and it successfully detected and tracked the growth of E. coli. Another one, a different microwave sensor, could even monitor E. coli growing on solid agar.
That's pretty sophisticated stuff.
It is. And the speed, Bob, the speed is remarkable. These microwave sensors can potentially give antibiotic susceptibility results, figuring out which antibiotics work in just about 6 hours.
6 hours. Compared to what, usually?
Well, current standard methods often take around 15 hours, so this is a huge potential leap forward. Think about slow-growing bacteria. This kind of rapid insight could be absolutely critical in clinical settings.
Wow, that could really change treatment decisions, couldn't it?
Well,
Save critical time.
Absolutely. And it's not just about detection. The mechanism also involves thermal inactivation. Microwaves can basically heat up and kill pathogens even when they're tiny aerosolized droplets. So there's a direct destructive capability there too.
Okay, so detection and potential treatment. That opens up a lot of possibilities. And I understand this goes even broader. There was a big systematic review looking at non-ionized electromagnetic waves and human parasites.
Yes, exactly. A systematic review. So this wasn't just one experiment. They pulled together a whole bunch of existing research.
What was the scope?
It was pretty wide. They analyzed 53 relevant articles published between 1970 and 2023. They focused specifically on non-ionizing electromagnetic waves. That's everything from radio frequency, RF, all the way up to UV light.
Yeah.
And the key focus was on studies looking at the inactivation or treatment of human parasitic agents using these waves. They were searching for consistent patterns across decades of research.
And did they find them? What about radio frequency RF? Was it effective?
The review indicated that, yes, studies consistently showed RF radiation could be effective against protozoa, sometimes even with really short exposures, like less than a minute.
A minute, yeah.
Yeah. Examples included Acanthamoeba RF could destroy its highly resistant cysts, and also Leishmania, which was the focus of several studies they reviewed.
Is it just heating them up, the thermal effect?
Primarily, yes. The review suggests RF radiation often leads to parasite death through thermal effects. For example, they cited treating cutaneous leishmaniosis effectively by heating the area to 50 degrees C for just 30 seconds, or inactivating Toxoplasma oocysts at 50-70 degrees C for about a minute. It's a kind of targeted heat application.
Okay. And what about microwaves in that big review? Did they show similar effects on parasites, not just bacteria?
They did. Microwaves, even the kinds in the mobile phone frequency range, were found to increase the mortality rate of Acanthamoeba cysts again, and also Echinococcus protocyclices. Those are larval tapeworms. And the key finding there was that the effects seemed dependent on both the duration of exposure and the distance from the RF source. That clearly points towards a dose-response relationship,
Makes sense. More exposure, closer proximity, bigger effect.
Yeah.
Any other types of waves mentioned?
UV light also came up. It was shown to be effective in reducing the formation of larvae from the eggs of Pseudocapillaria tomentosa, which is a type of nematode parasite.
You're listening to OOTO TV with research by author Paul Bulow. So, Sue, when you pull all these different studies together, the specific ones on toxoplasma, the microwave work, this big systematic review covering RF, MW, UV, what's the main takeaway?
Well, I think what truly stands out is this consistent thread, right? Across multiple types of studies, multiple types of waves, and different organisms. Targeting parasites and bacteria using electromagnetic fields and sound waves result in significant impact on parasites and bacterias.
So the evidence from these scientific investigations is really quite compelling. It suggests a powerful, maybe non-pharmaceutical approach is possible here.
Exactly. It points towards possibilities that are grounded in measurable scientific observation, which leads us nicely into the next area.
Right. So from those specific lab findings, we now kind of pivot, don't we? We move towards a broader, more, let's say, holistic perspective, one that's gained a lot of attention, especially in alternative health circles. And this is the idea that specific frequencies, particularly electrical ones, might be able to target and wipe out a whole wide range of pathogens.
Yeah, this next area delves into a really comprehensive theory. It posits a much simpler explanation for human illness than we usually hear, right? And it offers a potentially very direct method of intervention.
Okay, so let's get into it. This brings us to Hulda Regehr-Clark. She was a Canadian naturopath, and she made some truly audacious claims.
Audacious is a good word, Bob. She asserted that essentially all human disease, and she included things as severe as cancer and HIV/AIDS, was directly linked to parasitic infection.
All disease from parasites.
That was her claim. And she further claimed she could cure these diseases by, as you mentioned, zapping the parasites with electrical devices.
Okay, let's unpack that core hypothesis. All illness comes from two causes.
Parasites and pollutants. That was her central mantra. Her assertion was incredibly direct. If you could effectively remove these two things from the body possesses this innate, powerful ability to heal itself. It's a very different way of looking at disease compared to conventional medicine.
Okay, parasites and pollutants. And the zapper was her tool for the parasites. How did she claim that worked?
Well, her claim was pretty sweeping. She stated that any positively offset frequency kills all bacteria, viruses, and parasites simultaneously.
Any frequency. That sounds broad.
Extremely broad. She said as long as there was sufficient voltage, specifically 5 to 10 volts, and it was applied for about 7 minutes, any frequency from 10 hertz all the way up to 500,000 hertz would do the job.
So no need to find specific frequencies for specific bugs.
According to her later work with the zapper, no. That was the revolutionary part. No need to sweep frequencies or target specific ones. The zapper supposedly got them all at once. Which is interesting because before the zapper, she did use commercial frequency generators.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, back then she was meticulously tuning them to specific frequencies she believed corresponded to particular pathogens. Like, she listed herpes simplex virus 1 at 293 and 345 kilohertz, HSV2 at 360 and 355 kilohertz. For things like Ascaris, Bacteroids, Coxsackie viruses, she used frequencies like 408, 325, 364 kilohertz.
So she shifted from specific targeting to a broad spectrum approach with the zapper.
Seems that way. And she also had her own invention, right? The synchrometer.
Yes, tell us about that. What was its purpose?
She described the synchrometer as a kind of testing device. She claimed it could identify pollutants and parasites within the body by detecting their unique resonant frequencies.
Like tuning into their specific broadcast signal.
Sort of, yeah, like a radio tuner for the body's internal vibrations. She even stated the human body broadcasts electrically over this huge frequency band, like 1.5 million hertz, up to over 9 million hertz. The idea was to use the synchrometer to pinpoint the invaders and pollutants first.
Okay, this is where it gets really, really interesting. Because if these theories, even parts of them, hold water, it suggests this profound interconnectedness, doesn't it?
Right.
Targeting parasites and bacteria using electromagnetic fields and sound waves exponentially leverage mental and physical health. It just opens up a whole new potential paradigm for well-being.
It really does. And Bob, this raises a really important practical question, doesn't it? If we accept, even just explore, these claims about electrical devices and their biological impact, then choosing the type of targeting parasites and bacteria using electromagnetic fields and sound waves is critical.
Right. It can't be a one-size-fits-all thing.
Exactly. It underscores the importance of understanding what you're using, how you're using it, what frequency, what intensity, pulsed or continuous. All those details matter immensely. You can't just grab any device and expect results.
In Clark's perspective, wasn't